It's about to get Gabby AF.
We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Gabby AF. Today I had to ring in one of my close friends who is... We're not close friends?
We're close friends.
Yeah, okay, well, whatever. Friends, I guess. Distant friends, acquaintances. Not really that good of friends. But we are friends now. We never used to be. That's a long story. We'll get into it. But Mr. QT Marshall joins me back in his home state of New Jersey.
We made it.
We made it.
We were here the other day for a Grand Slam to New York, but finally got to go back to New Jersey. So
yeah.
I didn't tell anybody because the moment I do that, whoever's left in my family, they all want to see me.
Yeah.
I just unfortunately don't have the time.
Yeah.
It's better if I just take like a whole week and stay up here. So for my relatives, sorry.
They're going to see this and be like,
they'll see this.
He did not tell us.
Yes. In and out. Literally flew up, did this, one other thing, right back home.
Do you like being home? Like, is it nice coming back for a little bit of time since you don't live here anymore?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's
okay.
Well, it depends. I'm from Freehold, but
Where I'm from as well.
Freehold, so,
yeah.
But my wife's parents are in Freehold, so it really all depends what we're here for. I guess if it's for work, it's just really hard to see everybody. Then
yeah,
you don't want to leave anybody out and stuff like that. So that's why I just don't tell anybody.
Shout out to Freehold. Me and QT are from the same town.
Yeah, you went to the township.
Yes.
Okay.
You went to Borough?
Yeah, I was Borough.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Well, I lived in the township, but then I was on the other side of town, so we had to go to Borough. In fact, my mom lied to the government, and we actually lived in the borough for 7th and 8th grade, but we didn't tell anybody. So I used to get dropped off at my old house.
Oh my gosh!
Walk because it was like right 3 blocks away.
Yeah,
I hated it.
Wait, what middle school did you go to?
Eisenhower.
Oh, you went to the other one. Yeah, I was Barclow.
Yeah, but then I would walk, and then someone caught on eventually because they just saw me walking every day. Like not going to the house that I used to live at because obviously I didn't have keys. So,
yeah, that's so funny.
So, but they never said anything.
Well, now they know. It's too late to do anything about it.
Sorry, Mom. Hopefully you don't get in trouble for that one.
I mean, yeah, great job.
Yeah.
Your mom seems great.
She's the best.
I know.
Yeah, she's the best.
You're a big mama's boy, probably.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that action figure right there.
He handed this to me before the show, by the way.
The story behind that action figure is I just needed my mom to have an action figure. So I had to make a deal with Major Figures and Cardona and his team. Shout out to them. And, we had to do this all just so my mom could get an action figure because one time she DM'd Tony Khan in his Instagram DMs. Luckily, he didn't respond. He didn't read it yet because it was in a request. And fortunately, he gets a lot of requests. So I had to show her how to delete the message and everything. And unsend it. So,
but you still get a notification if it's unsent.
For sure. But at least
if he ever sees it.
I told him about it anyway.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And then I was supposed to get a figure, I think probably around this quarter. But I was told last year. But then when I left, I don't know what happened. I didn't ask ever since I've been back. I'm not really worried about it. I have one, so that's all that matters.
Do you know what this reminds me of? And this might be a very niche thing, but did you ever watch Everybody Loves Raymond?
That's who she is.
So did you ever see the episode where Robert's trying to get promoted? He's a police officer, and I think to lieutenant, and she goes in and goes to the guy that interviewed him. And because she wrote a letter or whatever saying she didn't want him to get it because it was going to be more dangerous. But so then he was like, Mom, you shouldn't have done that. So then she went in and which made it 10 times worse and brought pastries for the guy and was like, wait, no, he should get it. He's amazing. Yeah. And he was and the guy was literally staring at her is this woman for real? This is a grown ass man.
So I say that, what's the mom's name in the show?
Marie.
That's what we call
I just watched it the other day.
We call my mom Marie.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's her name because that's who she is.
Oh my God.
Literally, she'll just show up. And luckily, she lives in South Florida.
Now,
so it's far enough away. But literally, she calls me nonstop. Cody, she'll text Cody.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Cody probably loves it though.
She's on social media sometimes where if the fans are going against me, she'll be like, you have no idea how hard he works backstage. Oh. And I'm like, Mom, just stop. It's not that serious.
I hope she reaches out to me after this episode.
She will. She's going to ask you why you didn't want to be in my movie because I'm going to have to let her know.
I was just going to say, she's going to be apologizing for you for how much of a dick you were when I met you the first time I met you.
Maybe she might.
So we have to talk about it now, even though we probably talked about this into the ground at this point. My good friend Cody Rhodes, who your
my
best friend, your bestie.
best friend. Yeah, he won't say on his end, but I'll say he's my best friend.
He's
Him
your
and Damian
best friend.
Priest, they're my best friends.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like to choose. They're both like right up at the same. And then I'm like,
Ooh.
Cody's. His daughter Liberty, Cody and Brandy's daughter Liberty.
Yes.
I'm their godfather, like half godfather,
Mhm.
because I share with Sean Spears.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm Jewish, so like I really have no clue what's going on.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're just like me.
Well, yeah, my mom's Jewish, so
You're exactly me. We're
Yeah.
pizza bagels.
pizza bagels.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh my God.
And but yeah, Cody will give you some. You've spoken to him about this movie, whole situation, and so you didn't want to be in my movie. I get it.
So
Now you want to be in the movie.
now we have to talk about it because I've talked about it with Cody numerous times.
Yeah.
Because Cody has apologized for you and not really actually apologized for you. He just dies laughing when I tell
Of
him
course.
how rude you were.
Sure.
So before I got into pro wrestling, when I was still like interning and still in school, I worked at a tanning salon. Like that was my first real job that I worked, like
Sapphire Tan.
Sapphire Tans. Shout out to Sapphire Tans. Love them in Freehold and Howell. They're the best ever. Just a quick shout out for them. But I worked there. I was amazing at my job because I'm good
Sign
with people.
in.
Well, I know about tanning, and
Yeah.
that's what me and Cody talk about all the time. Is
Yeah.
like I'm the tanning connoisseur for wrestlers. A lot of
We
people
never
need
got
help.
into that.
No. So randomly one day, what was it? 2015.
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
A young QT Marshall.
I was 30.
Comes-
that young.
Well, younger than now.
Younger than now.
Comes
Although I
str-
look younger now. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But comes strolling in with this look on his face, like you should know who I am already, which I don't. I didn't follow pro wrestling.
Not what it was.
He comes in with a video camera
Yeah.
and a team of people. Like
right.
he's
I
filming
didn't have the
something.
video camera.
No. It wasn't like him being
They
creepy
had
with a
it.
video camera.
There
like
was a kid from Craigslist who was the boom mic
yeah,
guy.
that's
Yeah.
creepy.
I
But
swear,
yeah,
it's the
okay.
most low budget thing ever.
Amazing. And he's like telling me, first of all, he's just like getting to the chase of it. I'm like, hi, how are you? Good. So this is what I'm doing. Like that's how he answered me.
I wasn't in a good mood.
He wasn't in a good mood. He was probably hungry. I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
hungry, didn't want to do any of it.
So he was like, we're filming my documentary. I'm a pro wrestler. I was like, okay. I was like, are you the WWE? No. So that's all I knew at that time. Like
That's what
I
everyone
didn't.
asks. Yeah.
And also AEW didn't exist. This is 2015. So it's
Right.
like, I also wasn't into pro wrestling, whatever. And he was like, basically just saying he was getting a spray tan. So they were documenting it. And he was just saying, he didn't really make it an option if I wanted to be in it, but like, you're going to miss out if you don't want to be in it. And I was like, I definitely don't want to be in your movie. Like, I don't want to be filmed. I have had a long day. Like, I don't go to work with like makeup and stuff on. I was like, I don't want to be in this. Like,
Yeah, it looked like you
really.
had a long night, is what it looked like. If you had to, if you had
Okay.
to ask me, it looked like you were out partying and being like a college kid,
Okay.
and because it was early, it was like 11 in the morning, So I feel like you were, or you just woke up and didn't want to make yourself up,
Yeah. Well, when someone's not 100% nice to me, I don't want to do them favors and like be in
It
their
was-
video.
It was for you. You would have.
I also didn't even think you were like real. I was like, this is going to be some, God knows.
I used to
He's
think that
filming
about
himself
the movie.
naked in a spray tan room. So it's like one
From
of
the
those
waist
things.
up, from the
Yeah.
waist
I'm
up,
like, I
yeah.
don't know if this is even real pro wrestling or if he's making like, God knows what kind of movie. I
Right.
can't be in it,
Yeah, I
because
get
I'm going to be
that. I
big.
get.
I'm going to be big one day and I don't want people to pull up this weird video. Like Gabby was once involved with this. God knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
you
get
never
it.
know.
Yeah, no,
You never know in this world.
100%. I understand.
So I said no to being in this video. And so if you watch it, I mean, a lot of people did watch it.
Yeah, it actually took off.
It
I
took
didn't
off.
believe it would. The kid that made it, Frank, shout out to him. He this was his like first movie ever,
Yeah.
right? So he did the right things that you're supposed to do. He
Right.
promoted it.
Right.
He called me one day, hey, can you come out to San Diego? For what? Oh, we're going to be in the San Diego Comic-Con for Best Documentary. And I was like, sure, whatever, man. And then I remember like sitting there watching these other documentaries
Can't
and
with
listening to how they were directed, all this stuff. And I was like, man, how am I going to pretend that I actually thought we could win? Right. Because to me,
Right.
it's just and then we won. And I was like, oh my God. They're like, yeah, the winner is the movie about a guy named Mike who's 30 years old. His last chance at making his dreams come true. I'm like, oh my God, are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
So I actually, after it was over, I went to the judges and I was like, hey, why?
Yeah.
Like, why did we win? And they're like, oh, because it's not a story about wrestling. It's a story about someone that's trying to achieve their dreams. All of us are actors or directors or whatever it was. So we all can understand this, And I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. I didn't understand the movie when I saw it, like originally, because it's
Mhm.
my life, but he actually made a really good story out of it. And luckily we screened it down in Atlanta and Cody went. I think Brandy made Cody go because I was training Brandy and my wife made me invite them.
Yeah.
So it was like this weird just happenstance. And if you ask him, he's going to tell you this whole movie is just a work to get a job in wrestling.
100%.
Which I wish it was.
Yeah.
And I wish it wasn't the worst times of my life. Literally, like I remember getting the call that I wasn't going to get this tryout with WWE. And it was like this happy-go-lucky story. And I was like the most miserable human being ever. So, but it actually, it all paid off, you know?
That's why you were nice to me.
Yeah. No. That was afterwards. That was the day I was going to do something else. Anyway, doesn't matter.
And listen, I'm a very nice person. Like, especially I was working in customer service. You have to understand, like, I was dealing with people all the time.
Yeah, I was, getting ready for.
You weren't like terrible. It was just like, why would I want to help you out and be in the movie? But it would have made such a good story now if I was.
Because now people won't believe it. Also, though, it is
Yeah.
weird that I walk into the tanning salon and then like I'm right in the thing.
Yeah.
No interaction with anyone at the desk. So
they shoot to the desk and no one's there.
yeah, I mean, we could have done like a Seinfeld with George Steinbrenner, like behind your head, maybe.
Yeah.
And we could have just used another girl or something, a stand-in. We could have used a stand-in.
You should exactly. But it's like I told you about this invisible string theory, and that's what that is.
Yes.
So it's mostly for, I don't know if you guys know what invisible string theory is, but like it's mostly for couples, like people in love.
Sure.
But where they say like if you're meant to be with somebody, it will always end up that like this string will connect you in your life. So like a lot of people have reported like, oh, I met my husband or my boyfriend, and like if I looked at this one person's example was the person she ended up marrying, she was like, someone snapped a picture of her and she was like walking to high school one day and she was in front of the house of the guy that she ended up marrying and like had no idea because she didn't meet until years later, and like that was his childhood home, like, and he was like in the garage playing basketball, like you could see him in the background.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Sure.
That's a very weird like niche thing, or people that are connected and supposed to be that way. Like I think like if you would have
like me and my wife, that's how we are, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known her since we're 8. But I always wanted to be with her.
Yes.
I was always friends with her, except for like a 10-year period. Does it count if you used to like Facebook stalk them to see if they were still in a relationship? Because I used to do that a lot.
I mean, I'm sure.
Okay, well, but I would never message her. It was always just, oh, she's still in a relationship. Then coming to find out, she just put that there so people wouldn't bother
her. Smart.
This whole time. Here I am. I wasted so much time in my life,
That's my favorite love story, by the way, is you and your wife's love story because
of the fiance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
A long story short, I was engaged to somebody else, but and then I will say this: I moved up to New Jersey to start working for Ring of Honor because I was considered local, and we were both living in Florida, so we moved up. And within like a couple months, she didn't want to stay. Right. She didn't like it. Now it's probably because I took her to South Orange, New Jersey from Orlando, Florida.
Yes,
she's Brazilian, this whole deal.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to stay. And to me, I'm not blaming her because I don't want to gaslight or whatever we call it. But I will say she was older than me at 26. With the mindset I had at 26, the way I looked at 26, I genuinely thought I was going to take over the world. Right.
Which is good.
As we all do.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking in my head, like, you're going to leave me. Okay. And of course she didn't want to leave me. She just wanted to go back home to our house that we had rented out, this whole big thing. But I just knew in my head, like, oh, we're done. Like, there's no way. And then I went to one of my friend's parties and my wife was there and, I was like, oh man, I love that girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to tell her. And she was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm engaged. And she's like, that's okay. Well, why are you talking to me then?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be our future,
Oh my
I just laid it all out there, and it worked somehow.
It's that poor
It wasn't that easy, but
no. But that's also the thing. If you know what you want, you know what you want. At the end of the day,
I guess I always say, wrestler, Corvette, marry Carolyn. Got all 3.
You have a Corvette. You're flexing a little bit.
No, but that when I was growing up, I was supposed to get a Corvette that was in our family. It's actually still in the family. And my grandfather told me I would get it if I didn't get any speeding tickets for like the first 6 months. I had like 3.
Oh my gosh.
Kia Sportage. So imagine driving like a 1980 Corvette. So I waited until I could afford one, which has only been recently. And I bought one, So and
That's
it just sits in the
cool.
garage. Doesn't do anything.
I was just going to say, like, are you driving around with it? And
I try to as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because I have a pickup truck that's lifted and it doesn't fit at the airport unless you're on the top floor.
Yeah.
So I've been taking the Corvette to the airport a lot.
That's
which
a
is
little scary.
It is, but also like it's just a car. As much as I love it, don't get me wrong, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, if someone dings it, they ding it, whatever.
Well, that's your mindset about most things that
That's
learned
it.
about you.
Yeah,
Like, he's probably the most laid back human being I've ever met in my life. Whereas like, I'm not like that, where like I'm an overthinker and I stress very easily. And you are the complete opposite kind of person.
Like I let one of the students drive the Corvette the other day to go get me a couple energy drinks.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to crash.
Yeah.
I have insurance.
Yeah.
And, whatever. It is what it is. God, thank God he didn't crash.
Right.
It's for his safety, not for the car.
Have you always been that way when it comes to like wrestling in that sense? Like that mindset?
Yes and no. Okay, when I'm out there, I think what's the worst that can happen, right? Like we mess up. So what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
At the same time, I put a lot of pressure on myself in the sense of like, it's not about messing up. I think it's more about like getting people's approval, and not the fans, which is weird, right? Because now I've learned that's all I care about as the actual paying customer. I don't care about anybody else. My boss, of course.
Right.
But even my boss, like I don't wrestle at AEW because we just never really saw eye to eye on the wrestling stuff. And, so I guess maybe I'm very laid back, and I know when I left, one of the parts of the conversation was like, like, I don't care. Like I can go do other stuff.
Right.
Too. Like I would hate to leave wrestling, and I genuinely would. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. It's all I care about besides my wife and dog. But at the same time, like I'll be fine. I'll just go do something else, and whatever I do, I will do well at. Right. Like that's just the way I feel. And I could be wrong, but I like my mom always says, whenever, like Marie always says, whenever I say I'm going to go do something or I'm going to make a major decision, she always says like, hey, at the end of the day, you've always made good choices for yourself. Right. You've never regretted anything. So, okay.
Well, she could say that now, because I'm sure when you were like, I'm going to be a wrestler, she was like, oh my God, please do something else.
You know, what's funny is that she knew Dawn Marie from ECW and WWE.
Okay.
Okay. So, and she used to work at a bar up in Secaucus. So like all the wrestlers used to come in there. And so she kind of knew about it and stuff. And she wanted me to go to college, but like she knew I wasn't. And then it wasn't about college. It was like, then you better make cash. You better have a good job. And so the problem is that I always had a good job where I always made a lot of money. So like I didn't want to drive 4 hours to go to an indie show because I could make $300 that night at a restaurant. So there's always that weird. And then I look back and think, man, if I would have just challenged myself to not do all that stuff, maybe I would have made it sooner. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, of course.
It's all paid off, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
I think so.
You're so loved.
Yeah. I mean, the fans hate me, but whatever,
it's so funny
just
that
humans.
It's so funny that like the fans hate you so much, because I'm like, I don't get it. Like for me, maybe it's because I know, like, I don't know. It's because I know you, and like AEW, the fan base, like every time you've been in the ring, it's just,
they just hate me.
Constant
the first
hate.
time I ever had a graphic out.
Yeah.
It was like, screw this guy.
Screw this guy.
I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
You should fire him. Now I will say this. I didn't look like the typical pro wrestler, right? I guess
so many people don't, though, in this day and age.
And it's weird, right? When it came to me, you could bald shame me. I mean, fat shame me, whatever you wanted. But like anyone else, God forbid you said something about one of their beloved wrestlers.
Right.
So, but again, it was one of those things that I never, like, it didn't hurt my feelings. It only hurt my feelings if I found out that like someone was going to take an opportunity from me. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, oh, we shouldn't have put that graphic out because now the fans are just, and I'm like, oh, then don't put the graphic out.
Yeah.
Just let me go out there and wrestle, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a very spontaneous type of wrestler where, like I've done a couple of pre-show matches for AEW whether it was one of my students or I think both of them have been, all three have been students of mine, actually. It's just to get them a look.
Mm-hmm.
And all the matches are like, they're not advertised, and we make a segment out of it. I mean, the one I did against one of my guys in Nashville, I was in sneakers and swish pants, where I like went to kick him out of the ring as the vice president. And he's like, oh, and I was a babyface.
Yeah.
And the place was going nuts.
Yeah.
And like Tony's like, oh man, you're a babyface. I'm like, yeah, this is, what we do, And it's like, I only need a couple seconds to get people to like. Also, if I actually open up to the fans, I think they would be a little more, I'm a little more likable. I just try to, I'm a character, right? And for better or for worse, like you're not going to see me punch, Cody in the face and then
Right.
like take a selfie with him. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
not like that. So I think a lot of people that are bad guys and girls, heels on TV, they're very like they'll do that and then they'll just go donate to charity on Twitter. And it's like, oh man,
Mhm.
like I just was brought up a different way. And it is so out of touch. And I understand that. But
Mhm.
like Arn Anderson told me, if I would have been doing this in the 80s, I'd be rich,
Oh my God.
So-
Well, because it's better to be hated than no response at all.
Yeah.
At the end of the
That's the
day.
thing. I love getting people riled up.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid. If I find out something about somebody, man, I'll tease you to the end, and it's all in good fun.
Thank God you did something with that instead of just
Yeah,
bullying people
because
around as a child.
I don't call it bullying, but eventually I did get punched in the face once.
Yeah.
This kid told me, if you say it again, I'll punch you in the face. And I said it, whatever I had said.
Oh my God.
And he just straight up punched me in the face. And I was like, oh my God.
Was this like high school?
On the bus, 7th grade. He was in 8th.
Yeah, you deserved it. Probably.
I mean,
he warned you.
He did. He said, I don't know if we can curse.
We can curse.
He said, if you call me a cock knocker again, I'm going to punch you in the face. And I was like, what are you going to do, cock knocker? And he punched me in the face and I didn't hit him back.
You deserve it. I would have punched you in the face.
For sure.
Like
100%.
Yeah.
Craig Nimick is his name.
I'm dead.
And he lived right around the corner from me because we were on the same bus. And I did deserve it,
Craig, if you're listening,
Craig, shout out to you. Big right hand right to the face. I'm still talking about it to this day. You probably don't even remember it,
Well, no, he punched the famous and amazing QT Marshall.
See that?
You never invisible string theory for meet up with him again at some point.
I went back to Freehold High School a couple of years ago and I donated brand new wrestling outfit, like singlets for the team and warm-up suits and stuff. And I never talked about it. And like my publicist was like, hey, so I pictures and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Why? I was like, because like I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
She's like, you're out of your mind,
You're
like
an
you
idiot.
just spent X amount of thousands of dollars to help these kids.
Right.
It went in the newspaper, Asbury Park Press, which was cool. But
that's the big one, guy.
That's the one that matters
in Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but whatever. I still didn't get my singlet. They were supposed to give me one and I never got it. It's probably still at the school.
We should go
back see Coach Shepard and ask for it.
Well, I don't know who that is because I went to the other school.
Yeah, he was like, he's still there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
We're so old.
Not that
you're
old.
older than me.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
But you mentioned, so you're not obviously wrestling in AEW. So you
Correct.
do a lot of the creative behind the scenes stuff, but you seem very happy in the role that you have and how working with Tony and stuff.
I love Tony, I don't care what anyone else has to say about, everyone always says the same thing. He's like the nicest guy in the world, right? And so when I came back, it was just, hey, what do you want me to do? What could we came to an agreement. I just bring a backpack, and I can wrestle for anyone else, obviously besides WWE. But like, even for a moment there, I was going to work for TNA and still work for Tony. And that was like before I even left a year ago, Scott D'Amore and we had like made an agreement and Tony was going to help pay for my flights. It was like, it was great. And
that would have been wild.
Then, Scott didn't reach back out and I was like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Because obviously he knew what was going to happen. So he didn't.
Right.
But now I'm working for him for Maple Leaf Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a couple of weeks, right? 3 weeks or something like that. So I'm excited about that. 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, so I do have to bring gear that week because we're Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in like California, San Francisco area.
You told me your schedule is like crazy because
that week is I told my wife last night that week, like she'll pull out her
like calendar
and ask
organizer
me,
and stuff.
Yeah, and I get really scared to answer because like they're all self-inflicted. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, my job at AEW pays me very well.
Right.
I have health benefits. The rest is just fun.
Yeah. So she's like, you're crazy.
Yeah. And she's just like, are you ever going to spend time at home? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying. And then, so normally I would just take her with me, but because we have the dog Buttercup and I don't want to put a vest on Buttercup because she's not that kind of dog. And then she's like 3 pounds too big to take her with us on the flight. So we don't trust anyone to watch
She's really that big now?
Yeah, but she's like 28 pounds, right?
Oh my gosh.
Then, it's
she's
nuts.
so cute.
She's the best. And like, unfortunately, I haven't tried it yet. I've thought about trying to sneak her on once, but then if you get there and then they say no, then I got to go back home. So maybe I'll just book like a cheap flight just to see. and just end up in like.
You don't trust any like dog sitters or anything?
No.
I dog sit.
Do
Just
you?
saying. Yeah, I'm amazing.
My
with
friend
dogs.
used to walk dogs in Jersey City. That
Yeah.
was his.
What do you think my side gig is? You think?
His family owns Porta.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I used to
That's
work at Porta
funny.
in Asbury.
Oh my gosh.
While we were doing the documentary, that's what I was doing.
That's wild.
Yeah, I did Snap-on tools, but then I quit when I had my neck surgery because sitting on the truck all day hurt my neck.
Yeah.
Really didn't hurt my neck. I just hated
You just
the
hated
job.
doing it. Yeah.
So they offered me a job at Porta Asbury, and I worked there for like 7-8 months before I moved to Georgia.
That's why there's a port in Jersey City too.
Yeah, I never went. I've never been there. Only the one in Asbury.
I think the one in Asbury is better. It's more poppin'. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Especially in the summertime.
Yeah, like because there's a roof deck here though.
Yeah, I know. I've never been there. But Eric, he lives out in Colorado. He's like my childhood best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he lives out in Colorado.
Beats Cody.
Oh, for sure. And like, I call him Crazy Eric.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't get offended by that. But he's nuts.
Yeah.
And like, everyone thought,
but in like the best way.
Yeah, and everyone thought I was lying about him.
Yeah.
And then in Colorado, he came to the show, and Aaron Solo met him, and he's like, he sent a picture in the group chat, and Cody's like, "Who the heck is that?" And he was like, "It's Crazy Eric. He actually exists, you know." Because the stories are so nuts about him. The fact that they actually exist, yeah, it's the best.
And he's from Jersey. That's why he's crazy. It's a different kind of crazy.
Yes, he's out of his mind, but now he's cool. He's chill. Just lives out in Colorado. Hangs out. So
Tommy Dreamer calls me Crazy Gabby.
I believe that.
And coming from Tommy Dreamer, who's probably the craziest human being I've ever met in my life, I'm like, I don't think that fits. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Those guys are just a lot.
Wow.
Bully's the one who told me to be like, Bully was the one when I ran into you a second time.
Yeah.
Like randomly when I was like, why do I know this person? When I got into wrestling. Pittsburgh was my first ever AEW show. That's definitely when I ran into you. Because it was the first Rampage, I believe.
Yeah.
And
we're there this week. Wednesday. We're back. Same place.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
full
wild.
circle.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I do remember you in the lobby there.
Yeah.
I remember, I think you were talking to Sean Spears.
Yeah, that's when I met him too.
I was like, I know this girl from somewhere.
1,000%.
Where do I know this girl from?
And it was the same thing with you. And it was just, and also that's how I met Eddie Kingston, because Eddie Kingston heard me talking to Sean Spears.
Yeah.
And he heard my accent. He heard I was loud. And he's like, "You're from New York or New Jersey?" He was like, "I already know." Like, I could tell. And like, I didn't realize I was like that. But I guess that's how I made all my friends, honestly, the people that I'm
just
still friends with.
Scream?
I don't yell. I'm just loud. We're just loud here. You're not that loud. I'm loud.
Yeah, I'm more reserved now.
Yeah.
But normally, like when I go
in your day.
Yeah. And just, I mean, if I'm comfortable, I try to be. So it really depends on the situation.
Okay.
If it's like very chill, I try to be the life of the party.
Yeah.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Like at a wedding, like I'm the one on the dance floor, Spinaroonie, the worm, the whole deal.
Spinaroonie?
Oh yeah. And it's legit.
I hate that word.
Spinaroonie? Well, it's a wrestling thing. Anything involving wrestling, I can do.
I know. It's just such a lame word.
You made me think like I said a bad word when you said that. I was like,
no, you said cock knocker already.
Well,
so Spinaroonie's like.
Sorry, Craig Nemeth.
Yeah.
Craig Nemeth. But yeah, so if like a wedding and like my wife likes to dance too, so I like to have fun. I don't think I'm a good dancer, but everybody watches and so they're probably laughing. But but yeah, for the most part, class clown, that was me,
We talked about this too.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of these things. I've talked to him a lot.
Yeah.
But I want
you had to vet me for the show.
Yeah. But me and Cutesy, it's weird calling you Cutesy because I want to call you Mike, but I don't know if that's weird.
Fine.
Okay.
No, Mike is good.
I know, but I don't do that with a lot of people because some people are weird with that. Like even if you know them, to not call them by their names, you always have to like be kind of respectful.
Well, because the type of personality I have now, I genuinely don't care what anyone calls me.
Yeah.
But I will tell my students, like, introduce yourself and make sure you say your name.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody calls you the wrong name, it's okay to correct them. Like,
right.
Make sure, like my wife, there was a guy at AEW who used to call her Christine.
Mm-hmm.
Her name's Carolyn. And he always used to say, "Hey, Christine." And then she would answer. And he just keeps calling. And I'm like, just tell him.
Tell him, right.
Like, oh, it's too late now, which it was way too late at that point.
That's hilarious.
And I just said, like, you have to just, that's your name. It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, someone will call me something else and I don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's more of like, I guess producing as long as I did when I would get guests for the show.
Yeah.
I would never go to like The Undertaker and be like, "Hey, Mark, would you want to come on?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a respectful thing.
Yeah, you should have.
I mean, after I met him, I don't think he would have minded, but like I was this person in it, and like Bully and Tommy would be like, always address them by their wrestling name before you know them, especially. It's just
Sure.
like the respect factor
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Like I would never not do that,
Yeah.
but like I don't have to do that with you anymore.
It's funny. The first day I trained at Team 3D, like going and meeting Bubba, he told me like, I need you to not look at me as Bubba Ray Dudley. I need you to look at me as your trainer, Mark.
It's so weird.
And when he said that, I was like, and then I think one of the reasons I got in trouble is one time I like said that back to him.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was a lot. I did a lot wrong.
Yeah.
Back when I was young. He taught me a lot of lessons as my wrestling.
He told me that he did, by the way.
Yes.
Like I said, so when I saw you in Pittsburgh,
yeah,
I don't know, we were talking about something on the show and I was like, how can you believe this whole story? I saw QT and like blah, blah, blah. And Bully was like, oh my God, like I trained him and like I did all this stuff, like blah, blah, blah. He was just talking about it.
Yeah.
And he said, like, I guarantee you he's not that same person. Like talk to him again and it's going to be like super different.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know you guys had that much of a relationship, but like he said really nice things about you.
That's
which
good to hear.
Was great,
yeah,
which he never usually does. So like, that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I had to earn that after so many years of, I don't think he would ever say anything negative anyway. I think he just wouldn't talk.
100%.
Right?
If I asked him about somebody and he didn't like them,
know?
he would never talk shit. He would just be like, oh yeah, that's great. You met them. Like he wouldn't say anything nice because that's how Bully is. And I think people don't realize that because he gets such a rep of
his
being.
name is Bully.
I know.
So.
Do you know how long it took me to realize his name was Mark? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because like
I thought he was named Bully.
I don't know. Well, people would say like Bubba. I didn't know his real name
Bubba,
for a while.
Yeah.
And then I was like, do I call him Bully? Do I call him Bubba? Like what's the right thing to do? Because I also didn't watch that time for wrestling. So people,
the greatest time in all of wrestling.
Yeah, I do now. I watch like things back. But when I first met them, it's such a funny thing because I just knew him as like Bully, the talent, the guy I was like producing. So like, obviously I know him much better now, but I still would never call him Mark.
It's so funny. I went to go meet the Hardy Boys in the East Brunswick mall, right? And they no-showed. This was when I was like 13.
Okay.
So the Dudleys showed up in their place.
Yeah.
So I have a Polaroid
That's
with
wild.
Bubba and Devon.
Yeah.
And you talk about this string thing. That's why like now
It's
I've
so
learned
crazy.
Just be nice to everybody.
Yes, 100%.
Because you never know. And even the people that probably weren't the nicest to me, if you are one of those people, don't worry. I don't hold grudges. In fact, I probably will go out of my way to help you more just because I feel more power over you. No.
Yeah.
But also like, you just never know. And like I said, there's so many people that probably treated people differently. And now they're in like all these, you just never would imagine that these people get to these places.
Yeah.
So,
well, I always say, and like, this was something I was taught too, like be as kind to the janitor as you are to the CEO. Cause like, you never know when you're gonna.
It's Coach Cody's number one rule. Treat everyone like your favorite. It's funny because he asked the students, who's your favorite wrestler? And like, I think they believe it's going to be this, like, they have to say Cody or they have to say someone in WWE. Like, and it's literally just to get them to say that, like who it is. So he could say, just treat everyone like that.
Yeah.
Person, you know?
Yeah.
But you could see like the fear in these kids when they're, I remember one time someone said Seth Rollins and like, I don't know if it was him or me. Someone said like, why didn't you go to their school? You know, it's like one of those like, why'd you come here then?
It'd be funny if one of them was like The Rock, Roman. He's going to be like, okay, bye. Then you should go see him. Like, that's so funny.
I just pretend when people come to the school that they have no idea who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it, you know?
Yeah. So, that's so funny.
Yeah. Because I know you guys think I'm some job guy on TV, but like, believe it or not, the job guys can actually teach you a lot, you know?
Well, you have a list of people that you've helped.
This is true. Yes. A huge list. Yes.
Which is my favorite thing about you.
One day I'm gonna like put it out there to the world.
Yeah.
You know? I just helped somebody today. Somebody's going through a rough time. I won't mention who they are.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know if they're scamming people. I don't know anything. I just saw and they messaged me and I said, can you FaceTime me? Because I was a little concerned. And then the person sent me like a selfie. So I knew it was them. And then I sent them, sorry, babe, this is for my wife. I sent them $100 because they're going through a rough time, you know? And it was like,
fan's going to do this.
And I literally just wrote, this is someone in the business that I've known for a long time. And I just said like, hey, I can't help you with more than that right now. But you know, maybe let me talk to who I have to talk to and see if there's an opportunity or something, who knows, you know, but it was just one of those things that like, I just like helping people. But I write it down.
Yeah.
There's a list, you know?
Well, you have to, I mean, it's funny that you do. I'm on the list now, by the way, guys, because
yes, 100%.
Listen, there's still more to be done, but I'm kind of on the list a little bit. So
I mentioned it to Taz the other day, right before I went to the Yankee game. I was on the phone with him and I was explaining how when I left AEW all I really wanted to do, there was like all these rumors that I wanted to be like the big superstar and all this stuff. And it's not true. We got rid of Dark. So that was where I got to have fun.
Yeah.
And like Ring of Honor just didn't have the amount of viewership that Dark got because it was free. So I didn't really want to wrestle on Ring of Honor. And then, I was trying to wrestle more, but I had asked, like, can I just go on like Rampage, like once a month? I just need something to get my fix, right? So, and we just ended up, Tony and I, discussing other stuff, and one thing led to another. And I remember when I left, there was like such an outpour of niceness about me on social media, which I thought was great. I would have rather every person go to Tony themselves and say like, hey, this guy helped me do X, Y, and Z. This person helped me, and it was like now I'm not saying that would have helped or wouldn't have, but I do know that a lot of, our talent get to help out with their creative stuff with Tony, and they sit down and they pitch ideas and stuff. And one of the things was like, people don't really pitch to work with me. And I'm not sure why, maybe because I'm in the office. I don't know, whatever it is. I also don't have a lot of like super good friends. Right. Which is funny because when I wrestled Cody, we didn't pitch that. That was Tony's idea. So it was like this whole big thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I had envisioned that all these people would like go to bat for me and like, hey, Tony, don't let this guy leave and blah, blah, blah. And I think they did behind the scenes, but it wasn't about me wrestling. It was more like, I need him to be my voice in the office. You know what I mean? It was like, so whatever.
Listen, I get it because, I do understand it because, my last job, when you do something for so long, you kind of want people to be like, oh,
right. Hey,
like,
here it comes.
The people you've been loyal to and working your ass off for so long, you would think possibly. Yeah. And some definitely did, but some also very much disappointed in a way. And it's like just a learning lesson for me as a human being. And that's all you can do and move forward. Bully was definitely one of those, I think, that still, like I said, he wants to help. He talks to me all the time. Tommy, every single, which is like great because I learned so much from the talent there that like we talk about wrestling schools and stuff. And like, that was my wrestling school, was like learning from Bully and like a Tommy and Mark Henry, like that stuff people wish. And especially coming out of it,
right? You're
like, holy shit, you don't even realize what you learn in watching pro wrestling. Now I don't watch it as like a normal fan, which is like good and bad, I would say.
Like
but
Mr. Miyagi, like you don't know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Mark Henry.
Okay.
He said I called him stupid.
What?
I don't know where. I read it somewhere and I was like
recently?
Yeah. And he said like, the reason I didn't care is because I don't believe it was true. And I'm thinking in my head, like,
there's
when
no way
would I have called him stupid? I actually I like Mark a lot. Right?
Yeah.
And to the point where like I did with Paul White, I actually thought of ideas to get Mark back in the ring. Right? Like I'm big on like, this will be easy. Yeah. Fun, Yeah. Plus I could tell when people like still want like that one more match.
Yeah.
And I want to give it to them.
Right.
Costco guy, right? So
God, we got to talk about Costco guy.
So but basically like, yeah, I read something that he was talking about the behind the scenes, and then he said, at one time QT, and I just want to say, Mark, I don't remember saying that, but he did say that whoever told him would take a bullet for him.
Interesting.
So I wish when he heard that, he would have brought me in a room with the other person and sat us down, as uncomfortable as that would have been, because I would have admitted to it, or I would have the other person would have had to admit that they're lying.
Right.
Which is
or maybe they just misconstrued
something or whatever it was. But Mark, if you're listening, I don't remember calling you that. I don't know why I would say that.
He's not stupid at all, by the way.
Yeah, he's super
brilliant mind.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I never.
You should have reached out to him.
I was gonna text him, but then I was like, it's just opening up, for what? And
Mark is one of those people, though. I feel like you really could. Like, I feel like he's one of
I'm sure if I texted him, he'd be fine. In fact, I might even text him after this because
it reminded you.
Yeah. Honestly, just hearing his name reminded me, like, I don't have a lot of heat with people.
Yeah.
I had all that when I was younger, right? Like I remember Bubba used to call me like a heat magnet. It would just follow me everywhere.
Yeah.
Now I don't really have a lot of heat with anybody.
Yeah.
Because I try to stay away from everyone. And I'm very honest. I don't care if people don't like it, but I'm the most honest person like you're ever going to meet in this industry that's just full of, lies.
Right.
Like the whole thing is it's kind of a lie, right? So let's be honest,
Well, yeah. And Bully's the same way, by the way.
Right.
And that's why he gets the rep that he does. And I'm like, he's just honest with you. Like he will just tell you, no, I don't like that. I would rather have someone say that than be like, oh my God, you're doing an amazing job. Like this is so great. And then turn around and be like, not giving you opportunities or not
Right.
wanting you to do stuff because they're talking shit.
Right.
I would much rather be like, well, you know, I don't like that you did this. Like, don't do that next time.
I can't imagine, like, I don't know WWE. So like at AEW, I know when I coach a match, even if I don't go on the headset, just because I don't like to do that part. Sometimes I get lost in the match, so I forget to like call stuff to the truck. So I'd rather have like someone else do that, but I help put the matches together and all these things. And but like if something's not good, you know, I won't do it in front of people, but I am like the first person. And then there's people that'll come up to me and say like, "Hey, can you watch my match?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then they'll come to me after like they have their own coach, and they'll come to me and be like, "Hey, be honest with me." And I'm honest with them because at the end of the day, like they're not going to get any better if we just lie. Right. And then I also think about it from a different perspective sometimes now where it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, did the fans like it? Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. Could I tell you didn't do this right or you did that? Sure. From a fundamental standpoint.
Yeah.
But some of the greatest professional wrestlers in the world, you know, their fundamentals weren't the best. And like Coach Bubba always would say, no one goes to watch Kiss to see them strum the guitar.
Oh my
you know
God.
what I mean?
The fact that you just quoted Kiss is like,
well, that's what he would say.
Bubba
and it's
thing
true.
To do.
Like,
I know.
Ideally, there's not one now, if it's a one guy up there playing a guitar and that's it, and he's just sitting there playing the guitar, yeah, you're watching for his guitar playing.
Yeah.
When you go watch Kiss, you don't give a crap.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's nothing wrong with liking the person that just plays the guitar, but I'd rather probably go watch Kiss, you know?
I mean, it's
that's why there's more fans. You know?
I mean, I think it's all about emotional investment. People get over with like random shit nowadays. Look at Joe Hendry, who like literally just took, like went by through.
I never heard of that guy. Isn't
that crazy?
I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like, I guess because he was in Ring of Honor when AEW had started, and like I was so into AEW, I really didn't have time to like think of anything else or look at anything else. I had no idea, but apparently like Cody had wrestled him on the indies back in the, like I said, I had zero clue. You
know? Drew and like Drew McIntyre obviously knew him very well because Drew said some stuff about him or whatever. And he was in the industry for like 14 years or something.
Yeah.
Before
overnight
this like
success.
Well, yeah, not overnight for him. He's like, finally, you know, but it's like, I like to see stuff like that because there's so many, that's like the beauty of pro wrestling compared to other sports is like, you know, you watch football, and it's like all about downs or touchdowns or points or like whatever, unless you're the Chiefs and then you just win everything anyway. Cause you just have to date somebody. I can't get into it. Don't even mention. It makes me so angry. I'm like the worst person ever because I can't watch football. I don't know. You're a baseball guy. So it is what it is. You don't care as much, but anyway, but it doesn't like, it's kind of cool that you can just be emotionally invested in somebody and maybe fundamentally they're not doing like the crazy things. And they're not, you know, but it doesn't matter. It's as long as they're good and doing good things.
And it's subjective, right? So
I
watch a lot of movies and I'm sure the movies that I like are ones that people will say, like the critics will say it's not a good movie.
My Cousin Vinny's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, but exactly. They'll say it's not a good movie, but I'm going to say, no, you're wrong. Cause I sat there and I enjoyed it the whole time.
Yeah.
And while I was watching it, I didn't think once about anything else but this movie.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I feel like good wrestling, great wrestling is something that you're just, for the 2 hours, 3 hours that you're there, you're in it. And then when you leave, it's like, oh man, yeah, I got to go to school tomorrow. I got to go to work tomorrow, whatever. But for those couple hours, you know, hopefully those wrestlers, those talents have, you know, just taken you out of the real world for a minute. The escape.
That's why the pandemic was crazy for wrestling because it was still going on, even though when everything was like shut down. You guys, like every company did a good job in kind of keeping it alive for everybody, which was.
I hated the pandemic, obviously for the world reasons.
Yeah.
Loved it for me. I mean, it gave me opportunities.
Yeah.
And opportunities I probably would have never gotten. And then on top of that, after like the first 2 shows in Jacksonville, we filmed out of my school for like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So I know it basically, like Tony will say, like it saved the company. So that was cool to be like, you know, we talk about it still to this day. If we did 2 days straight, one was live that I wrestled, and then I had just debuted with Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Natural Nightmares, here we go. You know, here's a victory for us.
Yeah.
And then literally the next day, it was like 6 weeks of TV, and I didn't wrestle once. And I remember like looking at Cody, looking at Dustin, and they're talking about what they're doing that day, and I'm like, I'm not wrestling. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you already did this to me once.
Right.
They didn't do anything, but I had teamed with Cody. MJF chose me as his partner in December. I was like the local enhancement guy that got chosen to be Cody's partner. So we would definitely lose. And in the beginning of the match, they were chanting like, "Who are you, Cody's partner?" And by the end, they were chanting my name like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't capitalize on it. So then it was like start, stop, which unfortunately, happens. And I probably could have been a little more proactive to not let it happen. But at that time, what you're taught is kind of just do what you're told and, be a good soldier.
Yeah.
Which I'm done doing that.
Yeah.
So,
but you were in a place where you don't have to do that anymore, which
correct,
is great.
Because as I said the other day to a couple people, I'm playing with house money right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I already have a job. I already have my benefits and I can do whatever else I want. So like, I'm not saying I'm mean to people or to the promoters or anything like that, but it's like, if it's not something that benefits me and you, like, it can't just benefit the other people anymore. And even like Maple Leaf, when I spoke to Scott, I was like, how can I help you guys? And this is what I'm looking for out of this, but I can help you. I can get with Tony and get footage for you guys and do all these things. But this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If you can't do this for me, like, I'll still help you, but I'm also not going to go, take bumps and hurt myself, So
yeah,
it's a really good position to be in. I feel like everyone should do it.
Yeah.
Everyone should figure out how to do that.
If you're out there, that should be the goal.
If you're out there, that is the goal, yeah, I don't know. Just, maybe, like I said, I think it was maybe all the talents going to Tony and just asking to have me back because we spoke and, it was like within an hour.
Yeah.
We were able to be like, oh, yeah, I'll come back.
It was such a crazy time when you were gone and then came back. I felt like it was like so quick.
It was weird. I announced I was leaving in like the beginning of November, but my deal wasn't up till December or till January 1st. And then like January, like 2nd or 3rd, I went to meet Tony.
Yeah, that's wild.
So it was like we had like 2 or 3 days of being like free, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was really it. Like I didn't even give like free agency a chance because I genuinely didn't want that. Like I said, I just told you, I literally just wanted to like lose on Rampage once a month. You know what I mean?
What goals?
Yeah. I'm a very like, I make good money. I just need to have fun at the same time.
Yeah.
And, so now I'm at a point where I could do that and I just won't be on Rampage, And I'm sure if I had my gear, there's been a couple times I've been asked to do stuff.
Yeah.
And I just don't have my gear with me.
That's
I'm like, I don't have my gear. I'm sorry, And he's like, oh, okay, well, we were going to use you for that. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have my gear.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And then like everyone else in the office, like, you're dying to do that. I'm like, yeah, of course, but I'm not going to give in. I'm just not going to give in.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
sweater weather is finally here, which means you can finally pair with some fall savory foods. But just like me, your schedule is probably a little bit crazy, so it's kind of hard to get the foods that you want. That's where Factor comes in. Their chefs do the shopping and the chopping to bring you fresh, never frozen, fully cooked meals right to your doorstep. It could not be easier. All you have to do is heat and eat. That's it. Heat it and eat it. It's super, super easy. And all of their meals are dietitian approved, so you know you're getting the nutrition you need along with all the fall flavors that you crave. And what I love the most about Factor, which I use every single week, is they give you options. Who doesn't love options? They have Protein Plus, which I personally use, Calorie Smart, which I've also used, vegan, veggie, keto, anything that goes with your lifestyle, Factor's got it for you. And their meals are quick and delicious. I promise. They are things that I use every single week, and they've really kept me in check for my fitness goals and just feeling good about myself in this fall season, which is my favorite. So head to factormeals.com/GabbyAF50 and use the code GabbyAF50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code GabbyAF50 at factormeals.com/GabbyAF50 and get your first box 50% off plus 20% off your next month. Go do it right now. You brought in Action Andretti, right?
So he was booked. Mark Henry, I think, brought him.
Okay.
But then we did a taping, I believe it was like the night before in Washington, D.C. Or we did like a Wednesday, Friday or something, because I think Rampage was live Friday that week. Anyway, he wrestled, and then I wanted to wrestle. We had a 2-hour dark, and Tony said I had pitched to wrestle Dante from Top Flight. I like Dante a lot. I mean, I like everybody, but Dante was like somebody, especially at the time, where like, I bet you I could have a match with him that'll really like tear the joint up, know? And then Tony said, no. He's like, no, I don't want you to, wins and losses really matter. So he just said, no, why don't you wrestle a local guy? Man, by the time it takes to get ready for me, when I'm in the office during all day, and then on top of that, Maryland and DC, they have like the athletic commission. You have to like jog in place for 30 minutes. It's wild.
What?
Not 30 minutes, like 30 seconds, but still
30 minutes. I was gonna be like,
it feels like 30
"Jeez."
minutes.
Yeah.
And they check your heart rate, and I'm on like 2 energy drinks, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in the office. Like,
Yeah.
we're writing live TV. What do you think?
That's
I'm going to be
so
calm,
funny.
you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I told him that, and I said, well, then I looked at the extras list, the local talent list, and I saw Action, and I watched one of his matches with Brian Cage, and he could do like really cool stuff similar to Dante. So I asked Tony if I could work with him, and I said, hey, I think I see something in this kid. Do you think if I work with him? And he said, yeah. But I had like a vendetta, not against Tony, just, I don't know what it was. It was a chip on my shoulder. I shouldn't say vendetta. That's a rough word.
That's a big word.
That's a big word, right? I never feel that way. But I had like
till the day you die, you're gonna have this issue.
I barely graduated high school. All right.
He can't even spell vendetta, and he's like using big words.
Yeah. No, I literally just was like, hey, all right. I just want to prove to Tony that like I could wrestle these younger guys, and teach them, and I don't have to win. I don't care at the end of the day, like, which is part of my problem. I don't care. I genuinely don't. And I've learned that you probably should at some points. So even like friends of mine, when I tell them what I'm doing, and like they're like not in the industry, and they're like, well, you're up, right? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I might even eat the pin. They're like, don't do that. I'm like, oh my God, what do you care so much? Like, it's weird, you know? But anyway, so I went up to Action that night, and I saw him sitting in the bleachers, and I said, hey man, QT, we're going to work tonight. And I don't know if you're one of those people that gets nervous, but like, if you just do everything I tell you to do and don't mess up your stuff, you're going to get a job tonight. And he like looked at me like, huh?
Yeah.
Because here's this kid that's just there to be an extra, you know?
Right.
I think the other day before that with Tony Nese, he went like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm telling him we're going to go like 8 minutes, and I'm telling him the moves I want him to do. And they're all like crazy. And then like, yeah, by the end, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And then I'm just going to hit with the diamond cutter everywhere. He's just like, okay. And then he did his thing, man. And even like Taz, who was doing commentary, they heard me talking to the producers, and I'm like, hey, so we're going to need a replay here and a replay here. Cause I knew what was going to happen. And I remember Taz pulling me aside, like, what's going on? Why are you giving this kid so much? And I was like, there's a reason, you know?
Yeah.
Sure enough, he ended up getting the standing ovation that I knew he was going to get. I went in the back, pretended like nothing happened. Jericho was there. He saw Action. He really took a liking to him, which led to all Action stuff. Tony ended up hiring him. So then we were in Canada the next week. I asked Tony if we had the same thing. It was like a Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday was a 2-hour dark again. I said, can I wrestle? You want me to wrestle a local guy? He said, no, the last time cost me like $75,000. So I ended up wrestling Dante.
That's so funny.
So, yeah.
And now
Dante
they work together.
Me. Yeah. And now they're in a group together. Yeah. Wild.
He's on
and
the
I
list.
literally told Tony, like, this kid's like another top flight guy.
Yeah.
And now he's, you know.
They mesh together well, though, I will say,
yeah.
I think.
The biggest thing is I told him the other night, I don't know anything about you guys. Right. And like, because we were talking about their segment. And I just told him, like, I would kill to know about you guys. Like, I know you broke your leg, Dante. That's it. You do cool moves. So does he. So does your brother. I know you guys are brothers. I don't know anything else.
Right.
I said, so if you get because they were talking about like more match time and stuff and storyline. And I just told him, like, if I were you, I would go out of my way to get people to really know you.
Yeah.
Right. And, or at least know your characters.
Right.
And a lot of that comes from not wrestling as fast, because I say this a lot and people aren't going to like it. So, but I'm going to do it anyway. Excalibur always wins commentator of the year. Right. That's because our talent wrestle a lot, like, and there's not real like many breaks in the matches, right? And in the sense of like an old school match, they might put a hold on somebody, and during the hold, you could talk about other stuff. Like I could talk about how QT turned on Cody and turned on that, blah, blah, and that's what led him to that. Or like, oh, look at that smile. Like, you know, he paid $9. You know, you could get into the story aspect,
right?
But if you're just wrestling and you're just doing spots, it's hard. So like I always joke about Excalibur wins, and I say I joke because I do believe he's a great commentator, but he's also the only one talking for a long time. You know what I mean? It's like, so I would always tell Taz, like, hey, please, I'm going to do something at this point where I'm not going to do anything. Please insert this line here. You know? And then he would always help me out and come up with some good lines for me and stuff. But that's what I was taught, is you have to think like a commentator. You have to think like the referee, like the fans, all this stuff. So I was explaining to those guys, if you slow down a little bit, which makes me sound really old.
A little bit, but
yeah, but you know, it's true though. Like you don't get a chance for I would much rather you talk about me, the character, and how I got there and what I do, and instead of my moves.
yeah.
Unless I have cool moves with names for them,
Mhm.
like nobody's gonna remember. It's just a move.
Right. It's emotional investment.
You
On
need
somebody.
the investment. So,
Yeah.
we're getting much better at it now. And like I said, and also some of the moves that the guys do on our show, like I'm not going to do those. So
Yeah.
I'd much rather you talk about me. I'd rather be the guy that does nothing. And
Right.
He's so boring. I
Yeah.
hate watching him, but I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to throw stuff at him. Okay, cool. That's great. Yeah. I want you to, yeah. But then the other guy's going to do so many things.
Mhm.
Right. And it's like, oh, that they should have, I remember they wrote like, they should have put Action up on QT. He's so much better. It's like, you have zero clue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, so, you know,
He owes you a steak though.
steak. Yeah. And he's never got me one. And he did buy
Action.
something. He bought something for Chris Jericho. I actually brought it up to him the other night. And I think he thinks I was serious. You know,
Wow.
I would like him to get me a steak at least once.
It's also just the thought. I think that counts.
Yeah. You know, even if I don't eat it, just get it for me. And,
Why wouldn't you eat it?
well, I'm just saying.
How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
Okay.
And if it's to
Normal
go,
answer.
I'd probably get rare just because it's going to
It's gonna
continue to
sit
cook.
100%.
You know,
My one rule, and the one, this is
rest of the
also,
way.
yeah, but 100%. Steak's my favorite food. I love red
Really?
meat. Yeah.
I don't like it.
What?
Yeah, it's not a big thing for me. Although I did just get steak in,
In your Chipotle?
but I'm not a steak person.
I'm
I think because I grew up not eating it because it was like expensive. You know?
Oh my God. I love red meat. Like steak and burgers are like my favorite food. Like,
Burgers I like.
but steaks, a good steak, there's like nothing better if
Yeah.
it's a good steak. I'm like a ribeye or something.
Sure.
But I've said this, and I've said this to Sean Spears. And to this day, it's like he's like, when we had this conversation about something, he says to this day, it's one of the funniest things anyone's ever said to me. And like, I'll always remember that you said it, that if I was on a date with a man,
Yeah.
and he ordered a steak,
Right.
and he ordered it anything like well done, like
Sure.
there's
You
no
leave.
second date. There's just no
Yeah.
second date. And if he cuts his burger in half, I think that's an issue.
Okay.
Do you know what you know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
Yeah, I get it.
that was more so the one that he was like, that's a little crazy. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I think if you're a man,
Oh my God.
no matter how many toppings are on it, you cut it
Sure.
in half.
You're saying don't cut it in.
Don't cut
You
it
just
in
pick
half.
it up and eat it.
Just pick it up and fucking eat it. Because
And what
I'm gonna
happens
pick
when
it up
you
and eat it.
squeeze it though? It all comes out the other side.
But whatever, it's a burger. It's supposed
Sure.
to be fun. Get it all over your face,
Sure.
like whatever.
I get
You know
it.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I
I
just
don't
think-
cut it. I'm not allowed
also
to have
cutting it
mine.
in half, all the juices come out. It's
Sure.
just like, I don't know. I can't be like talking to a guy and he's like
his
cutting
burger.
away, and then he's like, "What do you like to do for fun?" I would be like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
Like, what?
not
do you
that.
Not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
get it.
know. Listen, maybe that's why I'm single. I don't know. but
Sure.
It's
Yeah. I mean, you know, judging people on how to
Yeah.
eat their food and stuff.
yeah. Cody doesn't like to talk to me about these things. I asked him, I'm
Cody's
like,
biggest thing were steaks. In fact, the last time I saw Bubba at Ring of Honor, I was doing something there and I was working behind the scenes. And Cody invited me to his house for steaks.
mhm.
That was like his thing. Like, hey, come to the house.
I knew
steaks.
we were friends.
And I
for a
was just like,
reason.
okay, whatever.
It's the best.
You know? And
Yeah.
because he had the egg, the green egg. The
Okay.
big egg thing.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Bully that I was leaving. He's like, where you going? I was like, oh, Cody invited me over for steaks. And he's just looking at me like, but he knew what it meant. He
Yeah.
was like, oh, you're going to go work with him. Okay, see ya.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah, because it was like the first week of January 2019.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I had a deal with Ring of Honor that my school was like, before it was Nightmare Factory, it was this other school. It's called the Power Factory.
Mhm.
And it was involved with Ring of Honor. So like,
Interesting.
I had to call them like the next week, like, hey, so I'm going to take this job. And they were cool about it.
Yeah.
We own them now anyway. So
Yeah.
whatever, it doesn't matter.
What's
You know, whatever.
What's funny is Bully's like my food guy. Like, we text each other pictures of food all the time.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm, to my core, I'm a fat
Sure.
person.
Yeah.
Like, I have to consciously not
Of
eat
course.
everything I want because I'm not like genetically thin, even though
Sure.
everybody in my family is, and I
Yeah.
fucking hate them all. But like, I have to actually work very hard.
Yeah.
So like, me and Bully will send pictures of like, you know, Sunday sauce and like pizza and like whatever. Like, we quote Fatso, the movie Fatso. If
Okay.
you ever seen it, it's like the movie
Yeah.
that we talk about the
Yeah.
most. And like, he says Tommy Dreamer. That's who Tommy Dreamer is, which is not nice. But maybe this is too much. I don't know.
Well,
I love these guys.
He
but-
used to get Subway back when I was training with him, and he always used to get double meat turkey. Because I remember I would have to get it for him.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I always used to think like, oh, he's dieting. Right? Like,
No, he's just
that was
hungry.
like, right. But it was like foot long, double
'Cause
meat.
yeah.
Then I would get it, and I would think like, oh, I'm dieting too.
Yeah.
But, like,
No, it's
Also, he's much bigger than me.
Yeah,
So like a double
100%.
meat turkey to him was probably doing a lot better than it was for me at the time.
Yeah.
Plus, I would always get cookies and I would try to eat them before I got back to the school so no one would see.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
God.
you talk about being a fat person. I literally go into any gas station I go into, I
Mhm.
buy a king size Reese's Fast Break, and I try to eat it before I get back in the car because then my wife will know I had one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
well,
like
because your
that.
wife's a nutritionist too, which people don't
Yes.
realize. So it's
Yeah.
like,
It's like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good though. You have her to keep you in check.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I hide it.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's gonna watch this and be like, "You don't think I know? Like I could see the chocolate on your face."
She's he didn't eat anything bad. He just had Chipotle. He didn't even eat the
Yeah,
rice.
I
if
didn't
you're
eat anything bad
listening.
here, but I
Yeah.
will at the airport most likely buy.
Airport doesn't count. Airport calories don't count. Airport alcohol
what
doesn't
about-
count.
Okay,
Airport,
but what about when you buy like candy and take it on the plane?
Okay, it doesn't count.
Okay,
That's when I have my regimented things. When I take the airport, I always get peanut M&Ms,
okay,
and I always get like gummy worms or gummy bears of some kind.
sure, yeah, that's what I get.
That's what you have to
I
get.
get like the same thing. It's those Airhead things that are like this with the white in the middle.
Oh, I don't like those.
Yeah, I get some kind of gummy saver gummies.
Yeah.
Like the big bags.
Yeah.
The other ones I like are those sweet tart ropes.
I don't like sour stuff.
Yeah, that's all I like.
Oh,
But if you actually add up all the calories,
it's insane.
it's like 3,500 calories.
It's insane.
And I eat them all before we take off.
Yeah.
And the person next to me is just staring at me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm nervous.
Please. People have brought on, like, I've been on planes where people bring on like full
Full meals.
Chinese dinners. And I'm like, the whole plane like reeks
Yeah.
of like onions and stuff. And I'm like, I don't mind it. Like, do your thing. But
I
it
brought
has
my
to-
food when I was getting ready for this bodybuilding
Oh,
show.
man.
And they
The
told me I
tilapia.
couldn't- well, they told me I couldn't eat my shrimp. I was having shrimp because there was someone with a shellfish allergy. It
Oh.
was a 4.5-hour flight. And I was ready to like,
Yeah, people don't realize.
I was ready to like get thrown off the plane.
Yeah.
Put on the no-fly list.
Yeah. My brother Mike
Yeah.
is a bodybuilder. So like I lived with him at the time that he was bodybuilding. So
Yeah.
like that
So you get it.
I get it. When he would shove like oatmeal and eggs into his mouth when he
Yeah.
like, didn't even want to eat it. And
Yeah.
like the tilapia and the asparagus that you can't put anything on. Like, I don't know how people do that kind of shit. I could
Yeah.
never, but
Yeah.
that's a scary world because hangry people is just not
I did it one time. That's it. I'm
just to
pretty-
say you did it.
just to say, not even to say I did it, to show people you could.
You can do it.
Yeah, it
Or
was just-
yourself, I would hope. It's more
No,
That's
no.
great.
It was literally like to show
so
other
unhealthy.
people that like one that you could do it, but
Mhm.
also that like, yeah, I mean, so I used to have this thing where like I would say, don't let me get in shape, right? Because
Yeah.
like I can out wrestle you any day of the week and I'm fat. Like wait till I get a 6-pack, right? That was
Yeah.
like my whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, and I would joke about it, but I was like, yeah, you better be hopeful I don't get in shape because if I do, I'll just,
Really kick your ass.
yeah, and just like outwork you.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, I was able to do it, but it was like, it had nothing to do with wrestling.
That's so fun.
And just to show the group chat, like, look, because every now and then they'll put their like weight in there.
Yeah.
And everyone will like get on the scale and just put how much they weigh, and
Yeah.
it's funny because when
Boys are so weird.
I got down to like the lowest out of most people in the group chat, except for like one. And I had broke 200 pounds,
Mhm.
which like when Cody met me, he'll tell you I was 260, which is not true. But I had not been under 200 pounds since like Craig Nimick punched me in the face.
Right.
In 7th grade. Yeah. Because I wrestled in high school and I was over 200 pounds in like 8th grade.
Okay.
So to be
That's
under
pretty wild.
200 pounds
Yeah.
was like a real big thing.
Yeah.
So
This group chat that
yeah.
you have,
Yeah.
it's very interesting because Cody's mentioned the group chat.
Yeah.
Do I get to, can I know who's in it?
Yeah. It's just me, Solo, Aaron Solo,
Mm-hmm.
Preston Vance, whose real name is Cody Vance, but he's not allowed to be Cody because of
Right.
Cody.
There's too many.
Cody's in there, Cardona, and Ricky Starks.
Oh, it's not that exciting. I
No.
felt like there was other people that might
No,
be in it.
it's really not,
Oh my
and I
God.
also, my notifications aren't on for that.
Group chats are,
Just because
A
like
wild
there's times
place.
that like it'll say 112 messages between AEW stuff and that. And
Yeah.
I get nervous because I have to answer everybody. So I get nervous.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to answer everybody. And then
Yeah.
I'll leave one person out and then I don't know why I care, but that's like the stuff I do care about.
right.
So, but yeah, it's
You're the third person in the group chat that's been on my show.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had Cody twice.
yeah.
And Ricky
But I'm the first in the studio.
in the studio.
Yeah.
But
See,
Cody
I
was
care.
the first in person.
Okay, but that
Not my first ever in person, but out of the group chat.
yeah,
The first
okay.
in person. But I had to fly to SummerSlam for that,
Oh yeah, that's
He's never in Jersey. Why would he come to Jersey?
right. Yeah, he knows because he saw how much my life has been better.
J-
So he realized
It's not true.
Yeah.
People in Jersey love Cody. There's a difference. They don't like
everybody
you.
loves Cody.
I
Yeah.
know.
Everybody
It's
loves
true.
Cody.
It's true.
They loved Cody until he started wrestling against me.
Yeah.
That's when like the whole shift changed.
Or when they knew you were best friends,
Yeah.
they were like, Cody, what are you thinking?
Yeah, like why? And I try to tell people like we weren't friends. He was, he gave me an opportunity to be his assistant because he was entitled to an assistant.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
We were kind of friends before that a little bit, but it was really just me helping him out a bunch of times.
Mhm.
So I never thought we were like friends. He might get mad at that, but I never did. I mean, I thought
He's
he
probably
liked.
not listening.
I
Be
thought he
real.
liked my wife a lot more than he liked me.
Probably. Most people probably do.
100%. Yeah, she's definitely the better half. And like, so I just figured, I work with this guy and whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I realized like, oh, maybe I guess we're friends.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever even told me we're friends. I'm pretty sure he says like workplace, some office thing, workplace.
Well, if he made you the godfather of his child.
So that and I don't know why, because I'm not a good like parent. So I'm not a parent.
You need, but here's the thing. I feel like you have to have, especially as like a godparent or something, it
Yeah.
needs to be someone who kind of is different than you.
Oh, well, then
to give them
that's
different
me.
kinds of skills. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Liberty's going to be I could teach her a lot.
Yeah.
Probably nothing they'd want me to teach her.
No, but it is. It has to be different kinds of things.
Yeah. Oh man.
Definitely different than Sean Spears. Let's be real.
100%. Plus Canadian,
That's what I'm saying.
Jersey.
Canadian or Jersey. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I got it.
It's. Has Buttercup ever met Pharaoh?
Yes.
Are they like
Yeah.
besties?
Yeah, but like Yeti Pinkerton is the small one.
Oh my god.
Yeti
The
doesn't
full
like
name of Yeti is my
Buttercup.
favorite thing of all time.
Yeah, Yeti doesn't really like Buttercup. Liberty loves Buttercup,
Oh.
so that helps.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big dog person.
I was never a dog person because I had one dog growing up, and it ate every single one of my action figures and my VHS tapes, and then it actually ate my agenda book.
Your dog was like, stop pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It's never gonna work out for
So
you.
he hated me, and I hated him.
What kind of dog was it?
It was an Old English sheepdog.
Oh my god.
And my mom named him Frank because he had big blue eyes like Frank Sinatra.
And Frank from Riverdale's Raymond was the dad.
That's true. Oh,
That's
man.
wild.
So, and there's another thing. My stepfather sounds just like Robert. That's
Okay.
his brother, right?
Yeah. Robert's
he just
the
has
brother.
a mustache, but he sounds and he looks just like him.
That's
Tall.
insane.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge. Yeah.
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 So
It's funny.
but yeah. So anyway, I wasn't a dog person. Then I saw Buttercup in the mall, and
How do you not like Buttercup though? It's
I
insane.
and that's what I was telling someone yesterday. Like, oh man, she's like the sweetest. She's like the best. I said she's the best dog, and then they were like, yeah, that's what everyone says. And I'm like, no, that's what everyone says about my dog.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like I just think it's a dog.
Yeah.
But now I'm in love with the dog, obviously. But
Buttercup needs more reps like Pharaoh.
I know that's the thing. Is like I think Buttercup has a shot at, being. I'm just so hated. I feel like
It's
if
true.
I gave Buttercup to someone else,
Yeah.
she'd stand a chance in the real world.
That's true. Like your
You know?
wife.
Yeah, if my wife and her
everyone
just
said.
went around and stuff, like she'd be great. She'd be.
This
the
is
most
why you need
famous
to get
dog.
on TikTok, and this is what you don't understand. I've been saying this to so QT doesn't do social media really.
Not good at it.
He's not good at it, but I'm a genius, and I think you should do Q tips
Okay.
and start like an advice
Yeah.
thing, or
What? Like ask me for.
But, like,
what
do
could I
it-
give advice for?
like
Just let's throw a topic.
anything.
Like what?
I don't
See
know.
if I'm good at this. Just one thing.
I don't
Could be
know.
anything.
I don't know.
See, now
I
I'm
don't
on the
really.
spot.
Well, you're putting me on the spot with it, but I'm saying like it doesn't have to be wrestling related because obviously
Sure.
it's different.
Yeah.
But say someone's like, okay, I want a tip on, okay, I want to ask out this girl,
Yeah,
and
just ask her.
I've-
Literally go up to her and ask her.
yeah,
Don't try to sugarcoat it.
right. That's a
Just
great
ask.
response though, because
Yeah.
this might be an 18-year-old kid who's like never talked to a girl or
Yeah,
something.
what is
You
the
know,
worst that's going to happen?
Right.
I learned this at a very young age. It depends on what your goal is, right?
Yeah.
If your goal is to hook up with a girl,
yeah,
and it doesn't matter. You just want to hook up with a girl. It's a numbers game. Just go to every single girl until one of them says yes, right? That's like the most simplistic
and
way
don't
to
realize
think
how
about
easy it is. It's very easy.
Or you can go the girl that you actually like,
Yeah.
or, want to ask out or whatever. Just go up to her and say like, hey, I just
Yeah,
like I did my wife, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, like, hey, I know I'm engaged. I know this sounds ridiculous.
yeah,
But I'm probably going to break up with her. And I would love if you would move back to Florida with me and we would be together because I've always wanted that. And she
Mhm.
looked at me like, you're out of your mind.
right.
And I was like, okay, but I'm letting you know, like, I'm going to move back to Florida
Yeah,
and you're probably going to tag along. Right. So, like,
it's going to happen.
it's going to happen. Yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then sure enough,
It
like,
did
I
happen.
left. And like a week later, it was like, hey, I just want to move down there. And I was like, all right, come on.
Yeah.
That was it, you know?
Listen.
And just from asking.
That I'm telling you, but like most guys don't know how to just talk, and it's a different world
that's
now in
different,
dating
you know?
because you don't date in the world where it's all apps and this kind of stuff. So like a lot of guys don't know how to just
Yeah.
have a conversation. Yeah, but you're lucky you don't have to, you know?
You don't have to anyway.
No, you do.
Literally just go up to people.
But nobody does that anymore is
But
what
they
I'm trying to
should.
tell you.
They
They
should.
100%, but that's why they need you to give this advice.
You know?
I think if
or
you
do
did
that
this,
fake thing where you're like, oh my, did you see that fight out there? And like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? Hey, what's up? I'm Mike.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. Watch that pickup artist show or whatever. That was on VH1 back in the day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Those lines are so bad.
That's a good one about the fight in the parking lot. Because I'm like, really? There was a fight. It's like, oh man, it was crazy. You didn't see it? By the way, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Just get in.
Yeah. There's a lot of things guys could do, I think, that they just don't do.
Q-tips could be good.
Q-tips could be good. And I think if you did that, like if you read, so you had people hashtag Q-tips and like ask you these questions. And then also I think if you just reacted to like mean tweets about yourself, it would be fucking hilarious.
That means I have to interact with people to get the tweets because
no, just be like, leave me questions or comments about like me or something. And then like you have someone like a producer or somebody that works for you pull the quotes after you did something, you know, and then it's like,
that's the thing.
You sit
now
there
I don't
and
do a
read
lot
the
that
mean
gets enough
tweets.
traction. I've realized now that I'm not on TV.
Yeah, but if Q-tips takes off, people will be like, Q-tips is stupid and I would never take advice from QT. And you'd be like, okay, cool. Well, then don't fucking listen or something.
Right.
Like,
and you should, because I'm actually doing pretty good.
Yes.
Pretty well, I guess, right?
If people are listening to this interview, I mean, he's very happy in what he's doing.
I'm doing decent for me, you know, with the exception of like my one uncle that went to West Point and all his kids went to West Point, like my mom's brother. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I'm the most successful person in my entire family.
That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
You're also
we have a small family, but still.
But you're also happily married with someone you're very much in love with. Like your personal life is great on the side, which a lot of people don't have both work life and personal life great. So I'm selling it for you.
It's the dark side of the ring's gonna come out. You're gonna find I'm the most unhappy person that there ever is.
Listen. No, yeah.
I always joke about
I've learned
that,
things
like
about
other
people,
stuff
weirdly.
that I really want to do, but then I think like, you know, am I gonna regret it? And then I think, probably not.
Yeah.
Because the work that goes into all these other things that I like, being a world champion at AEW is like probably not gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But it's definitely not gonna happen if I don't bring my gear.
Right.
You know?
Well,
so
for sure. Yeah.
You know, but I do remember like thinking like, oh, that would be cool. And then it's like, well, yeah, I guess it would be cool, but I don't know. Do we make more money?
Yeah.
That would be cool. But then again, I also think like, and I'm not saying I'm rich by any means, but like I make good enough money for the lifestyle that I live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, and I probably don't ever want to retire.
Right.
Right. Like,
doesn't everybody say that though?
Yeah. But I genuinely like, I mean, I'd like to work from home, you know, so I don't have to leave. But I'd like to, I probably wouldn't want to retire. So, cause I don't want to ever like stop being involved in wrestling. So I just think like, man, if I can make this money for the rest of my life, like I'll be really good. You know?
Yeah. Well, I've actually asked you before, like, what do you do for fun? Cause like your wife will be like, let's do something. And you're like, literally all I do is watch wrestling and I'm happy to just be home when I'm home.
I just want to be home. Like yesterday we watched some movie with Mark Wahlberg, The Family Plan. Did you see that? It's on like,
that's not the name of the movie.
I swear it is. It's like on Apple TV.
No, isn't it when he like adopts kids?
No, that's another movie.
Oh, okay.
I did watch that one too.
Yeah.
This one is he's a former like CIA agent or something, but now he lives with his family, his wife and kids.
A lot of the same roles.
But basically they don't know. And now he's been on like, it's like a fun movie. It's not like a serious movie.
Yeah.
It's like a funny, stupid comedy.
Yeah.
But we watched it and then we tried to watch another one. So like literally I'll just sit home and my wife gets mad because she just found out yesterday. I have like 7 different streaming services.
Yeah.
You know, because like I signed up for them for whatever and I never canceled them.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Apple TV. It's because I got a new phone.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, they gave it to you for free. I was like, yeah, for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
She's like,
so we
got
paying.
your phone in February.
Yeah.
I was
idiot.
like, oh shoot, I guess it renews.
Yes,
you know?
Of course it does. That's how they get you because if you don't cancel it, it keeps going.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I do all the free trials because like if I am into a series and then I get like 2 episodes out of it and then I'm like, shit, I got to figure out how to like keep it going.
Sure.
There's a lot of series that I'm into.
Well, I guess a good problem to have is that I don't realize that I'm paying for these things, right? Like
that's not a
like
good
I always try to
problem
look at the positives.
Yeah,
that's a positive. It's like, well, I must be doing okay if I don't care about the $9.99. You know,
that's a stupid way to think of it.
It's a terrible way, and if like other people that in my family, they would be really upset with me right now. Find 100%. Out that I'm paying for full cable internet.
Yeah,
and I have like 9 different streaming services.
Yeah, it's not smart.
And I barely watch any of them.
I was just all you watch is wrestling.
All I watch is free YouTube.
Oh my God.
And
You're the
MLB
worst.
and the Yankees. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Whatever.
not bad.
I'm a Mets fan, so we don't have to talk about baseball. It's not my fault. You just have to be loyal to what you grew up watching.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, and I have a stuffed animal that I made in the 7th grade. It's like a monkey, I guess.
Okay.
In home ec, we had to like sew.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so they gave you the pattern and everything, but it actually has a Yankee jacket of mine and my brother's when we were babies.
That's so cute.
So it's like the jacket's like this big, and
Yeah.
the whole logo's in. So when people say I'm not a Yankee fan, I'm like, no, I grew up as a Yankee fan. Like, you're not understanding.
Look at the bear that I sewed.
Look at the monkey.
Oh yeah,
look at the monkey.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I think it's a gorilla or something. I don't know. Anyway, I still have.
But it's also cool to be a Yankees fan.
Yeah, of course. It's the Yankees.
But I don't leave my team just because it's not cool.
Well, you got to stick with them through the good and bad.
Yeah.
But they just happen to be good. They're not the best always, but like I think the idea of the Yankees is that they're the best, right?
Yeah, because they're the Yankees.
Right.
It's just like it's the Yankees. Like it's just elite. It's just what it is.
Right. And you should want to be the Yankees, and no matter what you do. That's the way I look at it. Like try to be the Yankees, which like okay, so I'm going to tell this because I do believe it's a real thing. In wrestling. So Derek Jeter in the Yankees, when he hits a home run, he retired now, but when he hit a home run, he just put his head down and just rounded the bases. Aaron Judge, the same thing. Yankees are starting to get these people now where they hit the home runs, they watch it.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
Because it's like in wrestling, when you have a great match, just go to the locker room. And no matter whether you have a great match, a terrible match.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Because your job is to do that, right? And so I try to, Coach Cody and myself, we really try to tell the students that, like, please don't sell anything, right? And it's hard because sometimes you have a great match. You're like, oh my God. But it's better to just go find that area.
Yeah.
You don't stay out there and like really take it. Like
right.
The guy hits a home run, they do that. And then the next time they're up, they get the ball thrown at their face.
Yeah.
Because that's what should happen.
Yes.
So
it's also like if you do a good job, for you to acknowledge it kind of takes it away when people tell you.
Right. And that's the other thing is like they will find you. If somebody wants to tell you, they're going to tell you. Whether they really want to or they're just like blowing smoke because they think you can help them or whatever. Like I feel bad when people come up to me and tell me like on an indie show. But it's like I'm on the indies. Like I do this as an actual job.
Yeah.
And like these kids are still learning. So like if I'm not doing better than them, like maybe I shouldn't do this at all. Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always try to take that with a grain of salt too, because you never know who's being honest or not. But
I don't trust anybody, but that's just...
No, me neither.
No,
I trust everybody. Here's the thing. I don't trust anyone. And I know that like the person I helped today. Yeah. I literally had asked them if they could FaceTime me because I thought they were like screwing me. And I still don't understand. And I know like I can see when I'm getting taken advantage of too. And I just let it happen. I'm just like, whatever. As long as there's nothing that's like so detrimental to my life, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to ride this out and just see. I want to see how bad it is. I want to see how much
curiosity kills the cat.
Yeah, like how much are they willing to go? Like what lengths are they willing to go?
It's almost impressive how much they're fucking with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, they're out of their mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They need help.
Yeah.
Do you like believe in karma?
I didn't until I needed 6 screws in my neck.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe this is all like I don't know because I don't really believe in much. So yeah, I also know I did like to take a tremendous amount of back body drops. So I thought, that's probably why. Yeah. Also, I wasn't thick. Like I was wide and fat, but I wasn't like thick. You got to be thick to be I'm not saying you have to be thick to be a pro wrestler. Right? It helps. Yeah. It helps for the impact and stuff. But I also never got checked out. So like I didn't know if I was hurt, and then I waited till it was too late and all this stuff. So I don't know if I believe in karma per se. I do believe, I guess what goes around comes around is karma, but not like kind of. Yeah, I don't believe it's karma in the sense like I don't believe what goes around comes around is like karma in the sense where it's like some weird thing. I do believe like if you were mean to Gabby one day and Gabby has an opportunity to do something, you better be careful how you speak on her show so she doesn't cut the interview to make it look like clickbait. You know what I mean? I would never do that. Yeah. That's a very niche example. Sure. I don't know why you would do that. Yeah, that's what I thought about. Is it? I think about that all the time. I think about it whenever I text somebody. I think like, hey, are they going to screenshot this? Are they going to? Well, the karma is you helping me now. So that's true. So we're even now. We're perfect. We're not even yet. Okay. Let's see what you could do. Okay. I'm just kidding. If Cody laughs about it, it's like funny. For sure. Yeah. But it's
Cody's not even listening to this
He will
episode.
listen.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. Cody, Star Wars sucks.
He told me to stop tweeting the other day.
About what?
I just tweeted one thing. It was like a thing that William Regal said. And that was like, oh, he's telling the truth. Like he did just go to the ring every day. He was there teaching people how to do
Oh,
it.
I saw that. Yeah.
I didn't read the bottom part of like
that's an issue for you read everything.
I didn't read the
post
bottom
it.
part, and I don't know the bottom part. Right?
Yeah.
The stuff about his calling Tony and Tony was mom. I had no idea. Like I didn't read that. I was just reading the part of him teaching people how to wrestle, and that he never came in the office, which was true. He never did.
Right.
So that's what I wrote. Like,
Yeah.
As an office employee, and I figured like people would understand as an office employee, like he never came in the office. Right?
Yeah.
That's all I was talking about. You would have thought I was like stabbing Tony in the back.
Right.
And I was like, text Tony, like, hey, well, I'll delete. He's like, no, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything wrong. But then Renee tweeted it as well. And I was, but she's adored by everybody. So I
love Renee.
So. Yeah. So Cody texted me like, hey, stop tweeting. And I was like, what did I do? And he's like, just
shut up.
Yeah, just stop. And I was like,
you need someone to take over your socials is what needs to happen.
So that's the thing. I would love if someone did. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
It's one wrong word and you're
canceled forever. Yeah, I got it.
You put it.
Unless they make you approve it before they do it.
Well, yeah, but still, what if they don't like you? What if they get mad at you because whatever, and then all of a sudden they friggin' tweet something out? You know what I mean? What if you're supposed to pay them on Friday?
I mean, make them sign a contract of something that they're fucked if they do that. Like you could do that.
You could do that.
I'm sure you can do that. A lot of very famous people do not control their social media.
So I'm oblivious. I should do that.
Oh my
God. Because
God.
I don't like doing it at all.
And just make someone do your Q-tips for you. Yeah. Like literally just be like, this is what you do. And this is what you say. And like,
well, I'd like answering the questions like the one you just mentioned about the date.
But you have to play like QT, like asshole QT who like,
it's not an asshole. That's me being honest.
No, I know. But like in the character of like everybody hating you, you have to answer it that way. So it's hilarious. Like be the curmudgeon guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, be what everybody thinks you are.
Right. Like you idiot, just go ask her.
Yeah.
Friggin' talk.
Oh, like QT, you suck. Okay, cool. I'm making more money than you. See you later. Yeah, really. Like that's it. And that's like the whole clip. Like that's fun.
Yeah. The other day, my aunt messaged me. She goes, "Oh, that was so sweet what you said to that boy." So I was selling, and the kid said I sucked, and I said, "I grew up wanting to drive a Corvette and be a pro wrestler."
Right.
And I told him like at the guardrail, and he was filming me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "And I'm literally doing both. One day you could do stuff as long as you follow your dreams." I said something like that.
Oh,
but I was literally like, it was a backhanded thing.
Yeah.
And my aunt messaged me and she's like, "That was so cute what you said to that kid." And I was like, "Oh, I was burying him in front of his mom."
Yeah. Yeah.
I just had to do it on a low level because I'm the baby face there.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So
we've been talking for a long time and I know you have to catch a flight soon.
I do.
But
home. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Get out of Jersey. We don't want you here anymore.
Right.
But speaking of like things that get twisted sometimes, but you did tell me a very interesting Punk story.
Sure.
That I would love to hear because this is really cool.
Okay. So 2 little factoids. Is that a word?
It's a word.
Okay. 2 little things about Punk. One, there was a huge misconception that him and I didn't get along, that he put a wedge in between Tony and I. And I don't think that was the case because we actually spoke in Newark at the Prudential Center. And when I first heard about the fact that there was an issue, I went right to the source and I spoke to him like a man and he listened to me like a man.
Yeah.
And we had another person in there just in case, just so we could talk, because I always felt like it's easier to just do that.
Of course.
And we both realized like, oh, he doesn't want me with Will Hobbs because he saw more for Will. And I didn't want to be with Will as his manager because I didn't want to be a manager. So, and that was the end of it. Right. So that was the end of it. And then of course, like a month later, he was kind of gone anyway. So there was that. But then fast forward, he returns to WWE and I get a text from Cody saying, and this is like after I had left AEW. So the rumor was I left AEW because I wanted to be a big star and CM Punk ruined my relationship with Tony Khan.
Insane.
Couldn't be further from the truth. Both sides. Would I love to be a big star? Of course. That's not what I was going for though.
Right.
And like I said, all the stuff about Punk, I didn't know because I wasn't there. I was in Mexico, like, which I explained to him, getting hit with light tubes by Penta just to prove to my boss that I can get over. Right. It was like wild. But anyway, I get a text from Cody like, "Hey, do you have a pair of black trunks?" And I was like, yeah, I do. Why? Like they have logos on them. And he's like, "Well, something happened with Punk's gear and he's supposed to return at the Garden and the LA Forum or Kia Forum." guess it was like the holiday tour, him versus Dominic. It was his first matches back for WWE. I was like, well, yeah, let me see. And I had bought a sewing machine a long time ago, so I still had all the tools. I returned the machine. I'm not good at that. I don't have steady hands. And so yeah, I pulled off the seams, and Cody sends an Uber to my house. It's like a 2-hour ride. I give him a box with a pair of underwear in it, and he brings it, and I guess he brought it to TV. And then, so I saw photos, and he's wearing trunks. I know Cody gave him a pair of his as well. So I don't know whose trunks he was wearing.
Yeah.
I did pull the logo off of mine, and I still have the logo sitting with all my gear, which they were the trunks I wore when I wrestled Bryan Danielson in Puerto Rico in 2010. I'd like them back. I'd like them back.
Funny.
I also don't know that Punk even knows.
Right.
And I haven't reached out.
He might know now.
He might know now. But again, it could have been the ones that Cody was wearing too. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, but they were like, my trunks,
Yeah.
So, but it just goes to show you, like I said, I'll help anybody.
Right.
Because I love, especially in wrestling, because I love wrestling. And imagine all those fans that bought tickets to the Garden. They were already mad that he was just wearing black trunks. I remember like reading about it because, of course, I wanted to look. They're like, he didn't even come back in gear, and it's like, oh my, you don't know the real story,
No
now, especially they don't know the real story.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like that, and then I was telling you about, like, we were talking about Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental title and the word Yeet, and I remember the same thing. I saw that they had the T-shirt up, and then it was gone. And I reached out to Cody and I said, hey, I know the kid that owns the word. And he was like, do you think you could get in touch with him? I was like, yeah, I'll call him right now. And like, I don't know how it happened. I got that kid. I spoke to him. I told Cody. We were in like a little group chat. And then within, I don't know, like a day or two, Jey Uso had it. So I'm not saying that it was because of me.
And you've never told this story before, which is awesome.
Never told the story. I've never, because at the end of the day, like I'm not one of those people that wants credit.
Yeah.
Now I've realized, like, you kind of do need credit once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Right? Because like I feel that there's a lot of stuff that I've done in my career that I've kept private. Things like that, or things like helping talent X do this, or and I've never got the credit. So I don't, the public only perceives you as what you put out. So I'm not saying I want to be the biggest babyface in the history of wrestling. But I would like people to know that I'm a good person at the same time. And I play a character when they see me. And I don't really open up to that many people. But I think even just hearing those two things, like, I've never met Jey Uso in my life. Maybe when I was an extra or something.
Yeah.
But he obviously never did anything rude to me, because I wouldn't have helped him out at that point.
Yeah.
But, or maybe I would have. But yeah, so I mean, it's great to see his success. And I was joking about it with Damian Priest the other day, because he didn't know either. And I had told him about it, and him and I go way back too. So it was like, he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't really think the world needs to know. And he's like, it's okay. He's like, you should tell people.
Yeah.
He's like, because you never know, right?
Right.
Like, you never know what's going to happen.
100%.
Jey Uso might come work for you guys one day, or you might end up seeing him at a party. You just never know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. Okay. Whatever. But like I said, I don't know what happened once I gave the information to that side, right? Because I don't work for them and I can't get involved with that.
Right.
So I don't know what I was doing at that time. I don't know if I was working for any. It might have been in the 3 days I wasn't doing anything. Might have been before my official job was up too.
You just had the time to help other people.
I just had the time to like do whatever.
Because you were home doing nothing.
Yeah, I was just getting paid to sit home. It was the greatest. Well, I was traveling and wrestling indies too, but like, yeah, I just sat home for almost 2 months and got paid.
That's great. And what's crazy too is the guy who you knew, that wrestler, like, you never know when that'll work out for him, that he
correct.
Did
and that's what I was trying to explain to him. Like, you just never know. You can't use it anyway. He was saying he was getting death threats from fans.
Oh my God.
Like, it was really, and he was hurt at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm telling you, this will be you'll never get to use it anymore. So just,
and look what it's done for Jey. Like, it's insane.
Right.
He's taken over,
Man, if he didn't, I'm not saying he would never make it to that level that he's at now, but man, did that word help?
Yeah.
So
that, I've been in the arenas. Like, I went to the holiday show or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he came out and like the Yeets it was like,
they were going crazy.
It was a crazy atmosphere.
Well, as much as I like Huff Manley, which was his name, the original Yeet.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They weren't yeeting like crazy in Charleston, West Virginia when I wrestled him.
Yeah.
So.
They weren't huffing and puffing.
They weren't huffing and puffing. And I just remembered thinking, what is a Yeet?
Yeah.
In fact, I asked the promoter, like, I don't understand. What do you mean Yeet? Like, you want me to say Yeet?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, in your promo, can you please say the Yeet? And I'm like, okay, sure, whatever.
Right.
So No.
Well, if I ever get Jay on the show or CM Punk, which are two people I would love to have on the show, I could ask them about it.
They'll probably say, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Probably.
Person X did
Punk
this.
definitely wouldn't know about the
wonder,
trunks.
Well, I thought that too. Like, I wonder if he would get mad, even though, like I said, we always had great interactions. I mean, he asked to wrestle me in his hometown.
Yeah.
Right. I was getting ready to do a whole angle with Frankie Kazarian on Dark. Like, because I like Dark, because doing our own storylines, no one's watching. Meaning, from the office, from the talent perspective, you could do whatever you wanted. The fans were watching. That's what I liked about it. And as I was getting ready to go to the ring, they were like, "Hey, come back, come back." I'm like, "What?" Like, "Hey, I need you to go cut a promo about CM Punk." And Bob was like, "What? Why?" Like, he's gonna do this thing with MJF. Like, no, you got to do this promo. You're gonna wrestle him next week. I'm like, "Why?"
Right.
And they're like, "I don't know. Go talk to him." So I did. I like knocked on the door. I was like, "Hey, why are we wrestling?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I just want to wrestle a bad guy in my hometown that's not going to go into business for himself." And I'm like,
okay.
"Oh, well, that's me."
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to have fun." And, I was like, "Is this like a 1 minute type match? Like where I go out there and get embarrassed?" He's like, "No, we're going to have like 11 minutes. I was like, "Okay, that's too long.
Yeah.
No one's going to watch." But, everyone liked it. And no, the fans hated it. Backstage, everyone liked it. I think he liked it. I loved it because we just did a lot of it out there.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really have much to talk about because he was doing like a 20-minute promo with MJF right before. So like I said, I always had great interactions with him.
Yeah.
I felt bad because his match with Jon Moxley, where he tore his tricep and then he did the infamous interview afterwards, the presser. We were talking about how to start the match, and I told him what if it were me, this is what I would do. And he did it, and that's where he tore his tricep. So like I felt bad.
Oh man.
After we spoke about it. But
yeah.
Other than that,
maybe he hates you for that.
Maybe. I hope
so.
not.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a small world. You just never know. Like I said, you never know who you're going to run into.
Right.
I remember, he was the first person that was supposed to train me. He doesn't even know that.
That's crazy.
I went to the Ring of Honor school and like something got misconstrued and I didn't get to do my tryout that night. And I remember being upset about it. And I had money in my pocket. And I drove right to the Monster Factory and gave him my money.
Wow.
I was originally going to go get trained. He was
How
the head
different
trainer.
could it have been,
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I
wild.
could have been his like sidekick or something. You never know. Or he would have thrown me out of the school.
He would have hated you, maybe.
Yeah.
Which most likely is that.
Probably hates me.
What could have happened?
So whatever.
No, I don't think so. Hate's a strong word.
Yeah, I don't think he hates anybody.
No.
I don't think anyone hates anybody. I think everyone.
I don't know if that's true. Some people definitely hate.
I don't think
some
anyone
people.
should hate anybody.
Yeah, I agree.
Life is too short.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, there's nothing that serious.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Except pro wrestling.
Except pro wrestling. Yeah, for certain people.
Because it is life.
Yes.
That is for sure.
Some people.
Do you ever watch Ted
serious.
Lasso?
So no, because I just found out I had Apple TV. So I just saw
You
it.
have to binge Ted Lasso.
I just
It's one
saw
of my favorite
it.
shows of
I
all
just
time.
saw like the whatever and I like looked it up.
The trailer or whatever. Yeah.
What is he's like based in England, but he's not English or something. He's a football coach.
He's
Supposed
like-
to be a soccer coach.
He's a very southern like football coach
Got it.
that like took a college team that sucked and made them amazing. So like an English soccer team hires him.
Gotcha.
And he knows
Okay.
nothing about soccer.
Sure.
And he knows more about football, but but he's just this uber positive, like, we're going to be great. And I'm going to do all these new things but there's a lot to, and the characters are amazing. It's genius. And it wasn't supposed to come back with a new season. It was supposed to be done.
Now,
And because the fans loved it so much, they're bringing another season back.
you hear
It's
that?
so good.
You hear that, fans? You have a voice. Use your voice.
Yeah.
You did it for Ted Lasso. You did it for Cody Rhodes.
That's true.
You've gotten me kept off TV. Just use your voice, people.
Use your
So,
voice.
use
Yeah,
your
I like
voice
that.
or your tweet fingers, whatever.
Social media that
So,
he's not on. So don't
yeah.
tweet at QT because he probably won't see it, but
Yeah, and,
we'll
yeah.
try. We'll try.
not
I'm going to
allowed
help
tweet,
you.
apparently. So
Yeah. And Cody said, I think I need to help you, but
yeah, we might have to.
I'll put you on my list.
Okay, that works.
We can exchange.
That's perfect.
Well, I could talk to you forever. We shouldn't do this though because
Correct. I'll miss my
we can
flight.
you'll miss your flight, but I appreciate you
Of course.
meeting me in studio. You're the
Yeah.
first in the group chat to meet me in studio, so
Yeah.
let them all know.
That's right. I did it.
I'm gonna let Cody know
Yeah.
that you went longer than him. So,
There you go.
but yeah, he's not listening, but it's fine. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You've always been super. No, seriously, like I fuck with you and like whatever we talk about the first time we met and everything. But you're incredibly kind to people, and you truly want to help people, and you're a good person. So I appreciate you.
Yeah. Don't tell everybody.
I mean, I just told everyone. You want me to
Yeah.
take it back now?
No, it's okay. But I just want.
He won't help you guys,
Right.
but like he helps
Right.
me. You know,
You're in the inner circle.
I'm
You're in the circle. I help you.
gonna make
you're
it to the
not.
group chat one day.
One day we might add you to it.
Oh my god!
And then remove you from it.
No,
It's the
that's
worst feeling in the
rude.
world, right? I
Yes.
was removed from a group chat. real quick before I go.
Yeah.
I was removed from an AEW group chat.
How many people were in it?
A lot.
That's fucked up.
And now, mind you, I did publicly announce that I was leaving, so I get it. But I was still getting paid by the company.
Yeah.
So I had said, like, I'm still going to work from home.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
But I still will help. I will do stuff, whatever. And then somebody removed me, and I texted someone right away, and they screenshotted who it was. And that person that removed me, I have not said a word to since I've been back.
And they're still there.
Mm-hmm. And I walk by them every show, and I just pretend that they don't exist to me.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. It goes down in the group chat. People don't
because
realize.
they're the same person that texted me on the side and wished me luck.
Yeah. Always.
I don't deal with fake people.
No, I don't like that shit at all.
Eventually their name will come out. I won't say it. They
Karma.
They will do it to themselves.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't
They probably know now because one, they either did this and they know that they did it.
Yeah.
Or they realize like, oh man, he hasn't said hello to me. Literally, I just walk by. And we've even done business together and like.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out who this is after the show.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, I love knowing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is why in the studio is so great because I can find out shit.
On the Patreon, you could know. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
That's how they would get you, right? On the
100%.
Patreon for $7 extra.
Find out who that asshole is.
Tell you who it is, you know?
Yeah, don't piss me off or I'm going to tell everyone, you know? I would never do that. I don't do that to people. But thank you so much
You're welcome.
for joining. I had so much fun with you. We've talked a lot.
Yeah, I know.
A few days. People don't realize. So,
yeah,
but it's been great. Yeah, and I'll probably be at Full Gear. So if you have that match with,
AJ.
AJ, I kind of want you to win. I
want me to win too.
I want you to embarrass him in front of his child.
Me too. I want to hit the kid too. I don't think I'm allowed, but.
And if he brings the cookies to the ring and like talks about it, I'm telling you right now.
What if we just ate the cookies after though?
Yeah, eat the cookies over his dead body.
Today they had them, and I wanted to eat one, but I figured smacking the tray on top of them was better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but then you blew it for everyone. No one can eat them after.
And I looked and I was like,
when you win, eat over his like mangled body.
And then give him like a bite, like $1 Million Man with the money in his mouth.
But give it, and when he goes to bite it, like take it away.
Oh, okay. We can do that too.
I think this should be my job.
Yeah. You see?
I can help you for sure.
All right. Well, let's chat. We might be able to make this work.
I'm very evil to my core.
Oh my
I'm a heel.
There you go.
Best. That's what Bully always says. If I was ever, I'd be a heel for sure.
I believe it.
But all right. Well, anyway, thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much to everybody listening. This will probably possibly be a two-parter because we talked for a long time, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to hear Q-tips and you think that's a good idea,
yeah, let me know.
Tweet at QT and let him know that you want to hear more from him.
You like my love advice.
Well, it doesn't have to be love advice, but like anything.
But whatever you guys need, I can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And then until next week, enjoy the week of pro wrestling. Be safe. Have fun. LYMNB. Love you most. Right. No backs. You say it.
Yep. Love you most. No backs.
Yeah.